Joe and I were working on songs for the COVID virus, and we're using that as an entry point for using songs for messages about issues, okay? And then we thought the COVID was good. And then it sort of fell a bit sour because we weren't getting many views from our songs. And friends said they were great, that I didn't realize on YouTube, you've got thousands of entries at a time, and you have to find other ways of marketing. Anyway, we had our little fling together, and so that was successful. But unfortunately, everything fell flat a bit, and I got into mapping the COVID virus and other things. And then, as I'd mentioned in my video, that I was thinking about the songs, but I didn't quite know the niche. And then a friend of mine, he was in hospital, and his daughter wrote an article. She was a journalist, wrote an article about her frustration in not being able to see him. And then the penny dropped. So because he didn't have COVID, but because of the situation of elders and not being able to contact them, the idea then came to use that as the niche for the SingWithFred. So the whole thing has been redirected. And the 6 months ago, it doesn't seem that long, but 6 months ago, we met talking about the COVID songs. You'll recall a bit about that, Joe. Yeah. Now it's been switched. So hopefully, I've done a presentation about the SingWithFred, about loved ones, and it's had a pretty positive effect in my Facebook. I've got a small Facebook group in the Tony Robbins, and it had a pretty positive effect, and also in the Coaching Institute. So basically, once we've done this, I'll have a better idea of how to approach it for those groups. But I figure, talking with Karen, because she's been very helpful to me, one has to have a vision, and my eventual vision, actually, she covers 4 areas. But in terms of this particular project, the vision is to expand this multiple times globally through institutions as well as individuals, so that people communicate more through song. And it's the same intent actually as originally, but the actual goal and the eventual vision is to empower people. And I think that's based on my own background and what I've been doing all my life. So basically, it's quite consistent with that empowerment. And what I think is that this false media and so forth, we've got to have a grassroots media that can expand. I'm not the only person going to do this. Obviously, we'll get some people on the way, but then we can focus on climate change, as Bron is a stalwart, and Black Lives Matter. And I can see the protest through song. And the song is not professional. It's not by major organizations. It's by individuals singing to each other as if they were on the street, but they're not actually marching with each other. They could sing while they march, but they're using online to communicate with each other. And that's why these Zooms and ways of communication are so important. So that's my eventual goal. So I've got a list of things. So that's my introduction. I'd suggest, I'm not going to play it because that'll interrupt things, but the ABC What is Music, the first issue on What is Music goes into how we sing, what happens to the vocal cord, how we should control our abdomen when we sing, how we should relax the jaw, and practice. And 98.5 people can sing. Even Tony Robbins, who's a pretty lousy singer like me, but he's passionate and he gets away with it. So basically, I thought we'd have a little bit of practice together. So I put a number of other things on the email. The What is Music, I was going to play a little bit, but we won't worry too much. I've got a little song that I'd like to sing. And then these were just sort of preliminaries, and these are quite useful. I spent a lot of time looking around the web, and the digital dream door is very handy. I think I went through it with Karen, or I went through it with. Did I go through it with you, Bron? Anyway, if you go online with that, you've got a whole list of songs, and if you identify the number of the song and then click on the top, you'll get your song with the same number. So it'll only give you a few lines, but it's very handy to do. Now, I've got other files that I'm using, but I didn't want to load you with too many things. So having said that, we can go on as long as I like, because I'm actually paying for the Zoom, but I know it's Sunday night, so I don't want to spend too much time. So let's have a bit of an intro. I'm not sure whether, I think a few people know each other. Suzanne was going to come, Suzanne Adler.
Yeah, and I think Aldwyn was going to come too. She told me she was.
That's right. So anyway, there's Suzanne, Aldwyn, and a couple of other people. But anyway, look, we've got a good start. And I thank you very much for coming, because I know that time is not very good. So I'll hand over to you. There's two things. Your comments, and the 6 months ago, the key questions. I've gone over the key questions that I'll share with you, because I don't think, I think Athreya was there 6 months ago, but not Karen and Bron, and Joe missed some of it. But basically, there was some key question asked. Have other people done this? And Mimmie mentioned, Mimmie was invited too. Have other people done this? That was Alyssa's question, actually, from Brisbane. I was going to look at this. Was on the coronavirus, but not in the same way. This particular one, I'm not sure. Maybe they have. I haven't found out. But I think this approach is unique because it uses individual songs to prepare the database. It's not songs sung by professionals or great people, and that each song has a purpose, and it's directed to what makes the receiver happy, what makes him recall something that sort of empowers him inwardly, basically. And you can do this with pre-Alzheimer's or people in homes or whatever, even depressed people. So it's preparing a database of individual connections. I mean, obviously they have to allow that, but I think over time this will grow and people will get the message that they themselves can communicate in song. They don't need entertainers. And I think that's what's happened in the West, as we were discussing before. So basically, the big thing is that I didn't have before was patience and commitment. So now I'm really committed, and I'm going to start a business and webpage, etc., and then broadcast it on Facebook, because I still don't know how to use social media, although I've attended conferences, workshops, and everything. So it's to do with patience and repetition. So I found some software for Instagram, and I'll be working on that as well. So how are we going to start? Do you want to start with comments on the whole project, or you want to submit your songs?
Introduce everyone, maybe could introduce themselves.
Yeah, why don't you start, Karen?
Okay, well, Fred and I are relatively new friends. And I met you, Fred, on, I think it was one of Aldwyn's communication Zooms or programs. And I'm a coach and mentor. And as part of what I do, I coach and mentor business people to grow their businesses. And as part of what I do to do that, or to introduce to people how I do it, Fred mentioned I offer a strategy session, a business blueprint strategy session, where it helps people to get clarity around their vision for their business, and also it could be for any part of their lives, because there are 4 domains that we create results in. And so I worked with Fred on what he wants to achieve and what sort of outcome he wants. And of course, Fred's focusing on this. This is one of his passions. And so I started to work with Fred on that with my strategy session. And that's where I am now, really, as Fred got more clarity, more commitment. I explained how, and I sort of have to ask you too, Fred, because I know you said this is not to make money, which I understand completely. But you also wanted, you said, I want to have a business because then I can get students to help. And I wondered if anyone knows, or if you found out whether you simply an ABN, an Australian business number, and a business name attached to that is sufficient to use to have a business and where you can get students to help you. Because if it is, then that's the simplest, easiest and quickest way for you to get going with a business entity. It's like a sole trader entity that you register as an Australian business number, you attach a business name to it, and basically you're there. And it's a lot easier and a lot less costly and less admin and management than even a company in Australia. So I think that needs it maybe.
But you have to call the business a name.
You don't have to. You can still be a sole trader as Fred Zerfas. How do you say your name, Fred? Zerfas?
Fred, yeah, right.
You can still operate as a sole trader. You do not have to call it.
Okay, well, let me check that out. Fine, thanks for that information.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where I'm at. I'm just helping Fred at the moment with a few things to get it going. And
yeah, it was RMIT who said that I would have to have a business.
Who was it? Fred?
Oh, sorry. That's Mimmie. Yeah, hi, Mimmie. Well, click on the invite. Yeah, well, click on it again. Oh, okay, sorry, I haven't let her in. How do I let people
in the waiting room? Do you know how to do that, Fred?
No.
Okay, so you should, if you go to participants.
The waiting room.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
If you go to participants, I think it'll have who's in
admit all.
Yeah, admit all.
Oh, sorry.
There we go.
I've got everyone now. Sorry about that.
A bunch of people.
I didn't know how to admit you.
Oh, fantastic. Now you've learned something else.
Sorry about that. Anyway, we're good. Now, basically, we're introducing each other, and I explained a little bit more about the program, and I referred back to our previous meeting that we'd had 6 months ago. I don't think you guys were there, but Athreya was there, and Mimmie was there, about the COVID virus and issues, songs with issues. But I got fed up with that because we weren't getting many views on YouTube. So then I found the niche that a medical old friend of mine, he was in hospital, and his daughter had written an article about how frustrated she was, and the penny dropped, and that's the niche. The niche is singing songs or connecting with tunes or music or whatever you like with your loved ones, often elders who are isolated, and giving them a better feeling happier, and you happier. And either you can do a song about your friend or your relative or your father or whoever, or you can do a song for yourself. And I put a couple of songs, one song myself in, and given the reason in the email. So what we're doing now is introducing ourselves, and Karen is just completing hers. I'm sorry I didn't let you in. I didn't realize I had to let you in. About her, she's been coaching me and she's an excellent life coach, and she's giving me more meaning to what I'm doing, and I thank her for that. And she's based in Queensland. So we're just doing quick introductions, and then we'll get on to the songs and any comments that you guys have. So do you want to go next, Athreya?
Yeah. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
So I'm Athreya. I'm actually Freddie's grandson. And so I'm an industrial designer by profession. And I've also dabbled a lot in photography. And yeah, no, it's great to be a part of this. And I look forward to seeing where it goes. Ready?
Cool.
Oh, that's amazing, Athreya. My daughter's also an industrial designer by
Oh, that's wonderful. Where does she practice?
So she has a degree. She did her degree in New Zealand.
How are you doing?
Okay.
She's actually not doing that at the moment, but she is a qualified and has.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So I know that's a very difficult degree to get, and you must be very clever.
It's definitely difficult.
You have the sign. The sign. That's what you have. The sign from above.
Yeah.
Well done. Good
Thank
job.
you.
Who's next?
Joe?
I can be next. My name's Joe Hillel. I am a musician and vocalist. I have an interest in music therapy and in mental health pathways in terms of group music making and group vocals. And I also have an interest in the neuroscience of group singing, which is something that I've been looking into for a while. I suppose I am the music consultant or one of in these projects of Freddie's. I've been working with him for a while on his various songs and just working out the musical component. I think there is a lot in the field of music therapy about singing and about music from the perspective of the patient, and not a heap, I think, from the perspective of the singer. Usually, the music therapist is essentially a professional artist. I think the niche here is the niche here is that if you have loved ones or if you have people that are related to patients or related to the recipient actually doing the singing, then it adds a whole new component to the therapy. I think that's a really interesting and really unique niche to this. And
it empowers the relationship too.
Sure, indeed, yeah.
One-to-one thing.
And empowerment, I can say that in a culture like Australia, where music education is not an integral part of education for the young, people do need to very much be empowered to realize that singing and music making and all of the benefits involved in that are a very natural part of what it means to be human. And that, as you say, Fred, the vast majority of people can sing, even if you have been told again and again that you can't, which is a very common thing, sadly.
Thank you. Thanks, Joe. Thanks for all your help. You've been amazing.
You're welcome.
Do you want to unmute? Who's next? Bron? George? Yola? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to go, Fred. So I'm Bronwyn Plairre, and apart from Athreya and Fred, I don't think I know anyone. Hi. I live just around the corner from Fred in Brunswick, and
he's the reason I moved here, actually.
Oh. And I'm a retired horticulturalist, and I'm the one Fred referred to regarding climate action. And I find it fascinating delving into how we should bring that climate message to people. Yeah, I think you could do a thesis song just
Daniel, did I?
on that. On
Are
its
you waiting? Oh, sorry. How do I get you in? Oh, here we are. Click on it. Sorry about that.
I belong to a climate
Thanks.
choir,
You're
the
in.
Melbourne Climate Choir. And we often go to used to go to demonstrations. Now it's of course all on Zoom. And we'd sing old songs with climate-y words to them. And we've often wondered whether we get more benefit out of the singing than the people that we're singing to. But yes, if that's all that happens, it certainly makes us feel good, bonded, and as though we might actually be achieving something. They've been beat songs. I've written a song, or at least words to a song that's not quite so upbeat, and I think that might be more nuancing as to where it is sung, but it also does me some good. Anyway, and I'm fascinated to hear what you had to say, Joe.
Can I ask, Bron, is that a choir that's local to Brunswick or local to that area?
No, Melbourne, the Melbourne Climate Choir, and it's sort of a very loose group. Obviously, no audition involved. Just if you're game enough, really. And it's probably made up of a large component people who are in other choirs. Who
Fantastic.
come together for the climate, for the reason of climate action.
Great.
Victoria-wide, actually. Yeah, country groups as well.
I might add that Bron is a climate angel as well.
Climate guardians.
Guardian.
Referring to.
Right.
Yeah, we haven't actually done a lot of outside actions for quite a while, but it's a matter of, bringing the higher order of you don't mess or argue with an angel to the question, to the climate action. Yeah. Someone else.
Okay, who's next? George, Joel?
Yeah, okay. I'm George Klempfner and this is Yolanda. I studied medicine with Freddie. Freddie was actually at a party of it was actually a musical evening as it is, where I met Yolanda, and then he was my groomsman, in fact, when we married, over half a century ago, I may add. We're both very interested in music. We love music, but I must say that one of the deficiencies, I guess, of my education was that I had very little ability in music. So I've really joined you tonight just because to support Freddie and to hear what you've all got to say. I have to say that recently a nephew, 10 years ago, a little boy developed chronic or actually acute leukemia, and he was treated at Monash, and there's a wonderful unit there which in fact played music to him, and he participated in that sort of music as well, and I found it really impressive, and it lifted his spirits and helped him enormously.
Do you have your song ready?
No, I've come to listen but not participate. I've come to support.
Okay, well, that's all right. Okay, maybe I can persuade you later.
You'd all turn off the Zoom if you heard me sing, I'm sure.
No, everyone has their unique style. Even Tony Robbins, who's an awful singer like me. Mimmie?
Oh, hi, Fred. Hi, everybody. Sorry, I was waiting since 8:05 or so, and yeah, that Fred would let me in. I thought
I'm sorry about
people
that.
had not started, but I'm glad I'm here. You are great, Fred. Fred is really a friend and an inspiration how to get older. That's the way I always describe Fred. And I've known Fred for over a decade, and he's a very good friend of our family. My background is public health. I'm a lecturer at Federation University at the moment. I'm a lot into community health, but also I'm very engaged with different groups of people doing different things in different spaces here and overseas. And I guess music, I was trying to look on my phone. My mom and her family are very good singers. My daughter is a very good singer. My husband, and listening to George Klempfner, who is also a physician, is a very good musician. And I dance, I don't sing. That's what I say. So I was going to look for something that probably my mom would have recorded or sang to share with you people. Because in her 70s, she still, and when she used to sing with her sisters and brothers, you won't believe it, and she just can sing. And I'm still surprised how she sings some of the lullabies. She still hits some of the notes. She's just good, and she's never been a professional singer or professionally trained, but it's just something that they do. And I've got a daughter who's exactly like that. So I think I take my father's side, which means we don't sing. But I'm here to sing and to be part of this. And hello, Athreya, good to see you. And of
Hi,
course,
Mimmie, good to see you too.
yeah.
Can you tell us what that's about? Oh. Well done. What was that about?
So this is so again, music is a way that to transmit messages. Let me play another one that she's recorded. Sama eman eko bande mangingi tsombanga mbaza noto bwe kwe eko banda sama nanga eko bande oye lina zawzanga fula muride kwe.
You'll have to give the translation of it. Send us the translation of it, will you?
Yes. So literally, different messages are transmitted through song. And the song that she is singing is literally a culturally common song, but then she's sending different messages to us. And she will normally do something like this, highlight some of the key people in the society, their roles, and that's exactly what she is doing here, calling the names of different people, their respective roles, what they have contributed. And then if there are issues in the family, for example, there are some aspects of the song that is highlighted, and then a message is given to all the children. And there are some that she will record with the names of her children, the names of her brothers and other extended members, and the different roles that different people are playing. So they really use song when you are happy, when you mourn. You hear this during celebrations, you hear it during funerals, you hear it at childbirth, or like some sort of community celebration with different messages injected. And my mom is excellent, so she just records them so that I can listen to some things, because I don't know how to sing them, but I do understand.
Yeah, our problem is that we can't change the culture straight away. I think we have to do it in steps. And I think we have to start somewhere, perhaps. But
That's
we can learn a lot from you guys. So maybe we'll talk later about it if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can't compete with that.
Thank you.
And COVID's a good time to be changing our habits.
D'accord. Dan?
And can I add that the language that mom is singing in is called Ngemba in Akum. So my hometown is Akum from Cameroon.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a language that my mom is singing in. So I still speak Akum very well. My children don't, and I'm hoping that I will teach my grandchildren
Well, you'll have to
speak it
translate it
fluently.
for us. Okay, thank you.
Hi, how's it going? Sorry, I missed the very beginning. Is it what?
It was just an introduction to the program, and it was more or less as the email and stating that we'll outline a little bit and talk about ourselves, and then contribute our songs.
Very good. Talk about myself. Well, my name is Daniel. I am a photographer who I've worked a lot with Freddie's sister, Joyce. At the moment, I'm studying a Master's of Cultural Materials Conservation, and I also play a lot of music with Joe, who's here as well, holding the ukulele, and others as well. And I think this project is a really great idea. I think it's I think the idea behind it is absolutely on point. Just that music is something that really brings people together, is something which is very sentimental to a lot of people, very nostalgic, especially within families. And I think it's interesting what George said before. You know, he sort of made the point that he's not musical or whatever, but I'm sure at birthday parties you join in and sing happy birthday with everybody else, George. So I think particularly, you know, sort of between families, there's always room to sing, you know, no matter how talentless you might think you are. So that's that. In terms of picking a song, I chose one that I haven't really sung much of, but I think it's a great one, and I think is probably a good one for this project in particular. It's by the Beatles. You may have heard of them. They were pretty well known sort of throughout the 60s and 70s, and sort of onwards a bit, you know, in sort of niche circles. So this one I think was on the Magical Mystery Tour album. And it is let's all get up and dance to a song that was a hit before your mother was born. Though she was born a long, long time ago, your mother should know. Yeah, yeah, your mother should know. And it goes on like that for a long time. I don't think there are any other verses, but if anybody else knows any of the other verses, please do cut in and let me know. But I thought it was a good little nod to my mother, who is living alone at the moment in isolation. So I thought it would be a nice one for her.
I think you should sing it to her.
Yeah, I probably will.
And find out what her reaction is. And she'll probably say, oh, I'd love more of that, please.
I'd say, all right, Freddie. Yeah.
Yeah, well done. And Daniel was an extraordinary help to me in doing the ebook on Joyce. Actually, did an excellent job. My sister who died last year. Thank you, Daniel. Owen?
Hello, everyone. Hi. I'm Aldwyn, known as the Media Queen. I'm based on the Gold Coast, and I met Fred, she must be about 5 years ago now, Fred, in Thailand.
Yeah, like that,
We
yeah.
were at a social media marketing seminar together, and Fred bought my media program back then, and we've stayed friends ever since, and we've done crazy things like 5 Rhythms Dancing in Melbourne, and we've been to a whole lot of different events together, and it's just been fantastic reconnecting through COVID with these online events. So I run a media business. I help people get publicity and help them get their message to the masses using online and offline media. And I love what I do. I'm a stand for truth, good news, and animal welfare, and very passionate about helping to promote more good news and reduce depression, anxiety, and suicide rates in the community. And recently we had our 14th Animal Action Night, which Fred actually performed at, which was actually last Saturday. We had a 5-hour live stream, which is on the Animal Action Events Facebook page. And one of the songs that was sung a cappella at that event was What a Wonderful World. And that's the song that I'm choosing because I just love that song. And I can sing a little bit if you'd like. Would you like a little bit?
Why not? Yes.
Okay, great. Sing along if you like. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky. So on the faces, I see friends shaking hands, saying how do you do? They're only saying I love you. I see babies crying, I watch them grow. They'll learn so much more than I'll ever know. Then I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
And always
The
singing to, what's the context?
so pretty in the sky, also on the faces of people passing by, etc., etc. So I love that song because it reminds me how beautiful the world is. And I think sometimes people, you know, focus on the few things they don't like that are happening in their life or happening in the world, and they make them huge issues when things could always potentially be worse. So I think it's very important to be grateful for what we have and to appreciate the wonderful world we live in. And I love that song for several reasons. It's very close to my heart because of not just that Nina Carolina Chapin, who performed at the Animal Action Night, did an a cappella version from LA at the online event recently, but also we've had Herb Armstrong, the grandson of Louis Armstrong, perform at previous Animal Action events, and he sung that song at some of our very early Animal Action events as well. So it's very dear to my heart. Every time I hear it, I just feel wonderful, and it just reminds me of what a beautiful world it is. So what I will be doing,
I'm just suggesting maybe you can tweet it to dog lovers. Change the words for dog lovers. So
yes,
they can sing to their dogs and put the name of the dog in the song.
yes, they could, absolutely. You could sing to dogs, you could sing to cats, you could sing to the
Whatever.
birds.
Yeah.
You could sing. And just on the point of singing, recently I was at a women's retreat in the Sunshine Coast, and I have a story that I'm not a good singer, that I'm not a very good singer. Or, you know, I've said things like, I'll sing really badly and out of tune, and, you know, and a lady that was running the retreat she said, the birds sing, of course you can sing, Aldwyn. The birds sing, you can sing, right?
Yeah.
And I thought that is so cool. Of course the birds sing, you can sing. Everyone has a unique voice, and the main thing is just to enjoy it, right? Don't worry if it's in tune, out of tune, doesn't matter. Just sing and enjoy the joy of music. And thank you so much, Fred, for bringing this together.
Look at the first ABC on the ABC program on What is Music. It's about 10-15 minutes. It gives you a good indication of how people sing and use their vocal cords and get measured from electrodes and all sorts of interesting stuff. I was going to play it tonight, but I couldn't do it. Thanks, Aldwyn.
Thank you so much.
We need some more songs.
Can I add that I sang along because it's my chosen song too? Isn't that funny?
Oh.
We're really in synergy, Aldwyn.
Oh my goodness.
That's so cool.
Yeah, the reason I chose that beautiful song is when Fred said, decide on a song and choose a song, and I thought of who I wanted that song to be for, and I wanted it to be for my dad. And as you know, being a coach, I coach people how it is all about our perspective, like you said. It's all about the view that we choose to look at the way the world is. And so, yes, we have some things that maybe we don't like at the moment. Yes, we have some challenges and some problems. And that is what we're taught to focus on, or brought up to focus on. And so it's so wonderful to have people have a different perspective and look for the good and look for the wonder and look for the beauty in our world, because if you look for that, that's what you'll see. Henry Ford, he said, if you think you can or you think you can't, you are right. If you look for the good or you look for the bad, you'll find whatever you're looking for. So I love that song.
Karen, as far as the song goes,
yes,
it's easier. My personal feeling, it's easier to tweak the words than the tune if the tune is very strong.
Yes.
So think about how you could tweak the words
for my dad
and direct it to people, individuals, including their name or their situation, and get them humming with you. Because I think Joe's very good at tweeting words, actually. Maybe that's a way of doing it. Yeah.
So that was.
Who else has a song?
Fred, before you get your next person, I thought with Aldwyn singing before, that's why I asked Mikey to bring the puppy, because it said replace the name with a dog. And she's only 9 weeks old, or 10 weeks? 11 this week. So we've had her for about 3 weeks today. And it's really interesting to see the bond and seeing what we are doing at the moment. I think that's really good for both of them too. So I called them in. So
I've got a section on songs for dogs. I'll send it to you. Okay.
Thanks, Fred.
Yeah, happy birthday yesterday. Anyone else with a song? Athreya, do you have something in mind?
Yeah, so actually the song that I put down here was, the song's actually quite a famous song in metal. It's called Nothing Else Matters. And the song is, actually I have a close childhood friend of mine, and him and I went to school together. And I've not seen him now for 3 years. And it's kind of the same thing that when you have a partner who, male or female, that there's certain bonds that get created when you're younger or older. And no matter how much time passes, or how many circumstances change, none of that actually matters. The bond which you share is always the same. And the song starts with so close, no matter how far. Couldn't be much more from the heart. Forever trusting who we are. And nothing else matters. Never opened myself this way. Life is ours, we live it our way. All these words I don't just say, and nothing else matters. So it's actually, the song was written by the singer of Metallica for his then girlfriend. And it's, in a way, it says the same thing, that is, no matter how close we are or how far we are, nothing else really matters but you. And so for me, it's something that we used to sing karaoke a lot when we were back in school. And we actually had a band in school, the name of which was really atrocious at the time. And the band's name was called Schoolgirl Complexion, because we used to play very soft songs. And we actually, and which is ironic because we're both quite heavy metal heads. But yeah, this is a song that it's close because of the fact that the song was written in '92, and I know him since '94. So it's been something that we always listen to whenever we gather, whenever we meet, and whenever we've had karaoke.
Okay,
And
how about singing him the song in the next?
I should. I haven't seen him for 3 years now.
You better sing him the song.
Yeah, that'd be great.
You're not a bad singer, actually.
Ironically, I used to be a singer back in the band.
You got the big chest.
The big chest, yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's interesting how also with regardless of the genre of music, that there's a lot in music that always stems from love. At least that's what I've always seen. There's not many songs of hate. I can think of a few, but the majority of them are always in the form of love of some kind.
Yeah. There's quite a few I noticed when I was looking through Spotify. I looked, Alfred. There are quite a few of sadness as well. Sadness.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
There's a section in the ABC, What is Music? How to Make a Sad Song. And it shows you how to tweak the music. You slow it down and you change the octaves. And there's another section on film music that all the Star Wars music copied a previous film, and they just generally copy each other. Quite extraordinary.
Yeah.
I'll just sing my song if you don't mind. I'd love to sing it if you don't mind. Tell me, where can I go? Is there no place I can see? Where to go, where to go? Every door is closed to me. To the left, to the right, it's the same in every land. I don't know where to go. I don't know. I can't remember the words now. Won't you please understand? Anyway, it goes on. But I used to sing that in the golf course, as I mentioned in the email, with my mother, who was playing golf, and my father-in-law at the time, who came from Vienna. And it was that occasion I hit a golf ball and it hit my cousin Martin, who never plays golf, in the leg. And the funny thing was, when we interviewed him last, he died a few weeks ago at 95. And he was like a second father to me. And from the bed, when I was talking with him, this is on video, he said, we mentioned golf, and he turned around at me and he said, I remember the time when I got hit on the leg. So basically, it's just the connection that's so important, and it brings back along. And the songs that happened in relation to a long time ago, people who have impairment can remember things. Remember Jeff, George, he could remember things a long time ago. He couldn't remember the recent stuff. So it sort of tickles the memory, and as a preventive measure, and I hope we get into the culture of doing things eventually. We've got to attack it on all sides and make people happier and in the present zone. So thank you, Athreya.
No problem. It's very interesting with music. If I may just add one thing, is there was back in the early 80s, there's an interview with the then lead singer of a heavy metal band of Iron Maiden, and where the band is actually fighting amongst themselves about whether the lyric is more important or whether the tune is more important. And the interesting thing is that the general vibrations that music bring about is how they do Om in meditation and things like that, the things that calm you down. The band was arguing about whether the vibrations or the tone is more important than the lyric, because the lyric is something that people may or may not catch on immediately too. So that's another interesting thing, is what actually defines a song. Is it the way it's sung, or is it the words in the meaning of the song that it's sung to somebody for? That's also something that will be interesting to explore.
Yeah, we can modify our beat, unlike other animals, like frogs and so forth. Their sound is repetitive. They talk about this a lot in the What is Music on the ABC. I appreciate you coming, thanks. What I'd like to do is let's meet again in maybe in a few weeks' time, if that's possible. Give an update, because I think that's important, because I think I should be accountable to your inputs. And if I don't schedule something, I won't do it. So if that's possible, and there are a few other people who couldn't make it too. Now, I just want to ask a general question to everyone. I'm going to do a Zoom with my people in the States, in the US, on Facebook, and also Coaching Institute and other groups of people. Any suggestions about how it should be done? Should it be in a similar format to this, or should it be a different approach?
What's your purpose? What's your goal for
I'll get them to sing songs again. I think that's the purpose, to get them to understand. And these are people who have seen my video, which I had a video, Sing with Fred. So they said they liked it.
Okay, so they're interested. They've already showed a level of interest.
That's right, yeah. So I've got a number of them, and I can hunt up more. And if I can learn more about social media, maybe it can be a bit more successful. Yeah.
So if you're comfortable with Zoom now, you know how to do it. You know how to let people into the room.
I'm sorry about that.
No, that's okay. But you've learned something tonight.
Yeah,
and
I have,
if anything else, you want to learn how to share a screen, we can look at that. Then I suggest, because you're already into using this now, that's a perfect way to do it. Zoom is very flexible, and it's very good. You can let them share their screen. You can let them sing, and everyone can hear. I could have put Aldwyn and I, or anyone could have put music on, and everyone would have heard it behind. You know, it's very flexible.
Yeah. Well, excuse me for being such a beginner at this. I'm just learning as we go along.
Everyone's a beginner at some point at the beginning. Yeah.
When they beginner, the beginner.
You're doing great, Fred.
Tropical
Absolutely doing great.
Yeah, I agree with Karen. I agree with Karen on that one. I think use what you're comfortable with as a platform. So you could use Zoom, and you could live stream it. Through Zoom, you can do a live onto Facebook as well. So, and that's quite easy to set up once you know how to do it. So just look it up, just Google it if you don't know how to do it, how to live stream onto Facebook from Zoom. And that way people can see it in a group that you set up, or a page or whatever, or on your profile, you could live stream it straight there.
You can get more people that way.
Yeah, you'll reach more people, but whoever hops on the Zoom, you'll be able to share screen and that sort of thing. So it's good to try to get people, good to get people onto the Zoom. If they want to participate, you will reach more people if you go out, if you live stream it straight to a Facebook group or a page or your profile.
I do support Fred, and I'm here to help. I think I use Zoom quite a bit, and I've been teaching sometimes on it. So I'm just a phone call away to help as well.
Okay, thank you, my dear. Thank you. All right, well, I'll try some of the same, and I'll write a little record about it to send back to you.
That'll be great.
Thank you, Fred.
Thanks a lot, Freddie.
Okay, well, thank you very much for coming, you guys. Do the recording, do you want the recording? I can send it to you if you like.
We don't, I don't think we need it. I don't need it.
I think you can archive it for later.
Yeah, okay, I'll put it aside.
Save it, yeah.
And just note the main things. That's the best idea. Follow it up. Yeah, well, thanks very much for coming, you guys. Appreciate it.
Nice to meet you.
No problem. Nice seeing everybody.
Okay, bye.
Good night.
Take care.
Thanks, Freddie. Have a
Thanks.
Good
Bye,
night.
everyone.
Thanks, Freddie. See you, Mimmie.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye.
Bye.